I wanted to give you another project to work on. So this one is based on a racing game that a little handheld electronic racing game that I used when I was a kid. It was called Digital Derby. It looked a little something like this. Well, it looked exactly like this. Now, the game that we're going to create is not going to have all the features that you see here, but hey, we could actually add many of the features that you see here. But in the meantime, we're going to make a game that basically just works a little bit like Digital Derby. I'll give you a little taste of what it's like to play this game. Here we go. All right. So anyways, let's go ahead, let's get to it, and let's see if we can make our own little digital derby. The first thing we're going to do is make a hashtag to describe what we're working on, digital derby. This is the first video, and I'd like you guys to go ahead and save. Click on the 3 bars up here and do save as and type digital derby 1 and then hit save. And hopefully we'll be adding to that. Let's see. Now, I have to admit, I already went through and I wrote all the code, but I don't know that I just want to give you the code, line by line as it stands today, right now. What I'd like to do is I kind of want to walk you through kind of my process. Where do we begin? I think probably the best place to begin is let's make a player vehicle, and we'll make it as a rectangle. And we'll start it off at X is 130 and Y is 300 near the bottom of the screen. And we'll make it about 50 wide and about 80 in height. And for now, we'll make the color red. Not entirely sure why that is, but let's go for it. Let's go ahead and hit run, and let's double check and make sure. Okay, so there we go. We got a car. The other thing I'd like to do is I'd like to make a line in the road. So let's do that. Road equals line. And we'll set the X value at 200, so it's in the middle of the screen. And for right now, I'm going to make it so that the line starts way off the top of the screen at negative 200. And then again, the X value for the bottom of the line is 200. And we'll go all the way down to 600. And then let's go ahead and let's make it so there's some dashes. And I'll just set that equal to true. And then let's make, well, for now, I just want you to see what happens, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and set the fill equal to white. And we won't see it right away like that. So we're going to go ahead and set the background color to black. So app.background equals black. And then let's go ahead and run and see what we got. Hey, not bad. The only thing is I want that line to be a little thicker, and I'd like the dashes to be a little more pronounced. So we'll go ahead and we'll add the property line width. And let's make the line width about 10. And then for the dashes, instead of just making them so they are there, let's go ahead and let's make them. I kind of figured out that I like about 80 for the dash width and about 30 for the gap width. And let's take a look and see what that looks like. I'm going to go ahead and hit run. And now you can see these dashes are about 80 long and the gap between the dashes is about 30. That's what the 80 and the 30 does. The line width of 10 makes it so that it's this thickness. All right. We're making some progress. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to make it so that I can move the player, the car, and so we'll do an on key hold, and we'll receive whatever keys are pressed. And if the left key was pressed, if left in keys, then player.left equals some value. I'll go ahead and set it to 130. Now, I got to tell you this. I was debating about whether or not to make it so that the car could move smoothly from side to side, or just have it be in one of the two positions, either in the left lane or the right lane. And for now, I decided to go with it's either in the left lane or the right lane. I kind of like that feel. To me, it has a bit more of an arcade feel. And you can always decide what you like and change it if you want. So we'll check to see if the right key has been pressed. And if it has, then we will move the player.left equal to 220. Now remember that just because I'm pressing the left and the right key doesn't mean that I have to set the position using left and right, okay? All I'm trying to do is make it so that when I press the left key, the left side is at 130. And let me go ahead and show you this. If I press the right key, I'd like it if the left side was at 220. And now you can go ahead and see that if I press the left and the right, I'm either in the left lane or the right lane. Okay, so I've got an awful lot done. That's pretty cool. Now the other thing I'd like to do is I'd like to make it appear as though the car is driving along the road. And for that, we're going to use something called OnStep. And OnStep is a really cool function that allows you to animate your app or your graphics. And we can use OnStep to move non-player characters, or in this case, the road. So what I'm going to do is this. I would like to make it so that the road, which is the name of the line, R-O-A-D, we're going to make it so that the center Y of road is plus equals, let's give it some number like 5. And that should go ahead and make it so the road begins to move. I'm going to go ahead and hit run. And then I'm going to go back and forth, and it's very good except for the fact that the line runs off the screen. So what we're going to need to do is catch that. So we're going to check to see if road.top is equal to, let's see here, is greater than 0. In other words, if the top of the line, the road line, if it gets to, right now it's coming down from -200. If it gets to the point where it hits the top of the screen, where it's just a little bit greater than 0, let's go ahead and do something about that. Let's reset the road.top equal to back to -200. Let's go ahead and see what happens there. I'm going to go ahead and hit run. And now it kind of looks like my car is driving, and I can go right to left. Now, you'll notice that there's a little hiccup, a little glitch, when the road top gets to the top of the screen, and then I send it back up. You could fix that. You could tweak these numbers like the 0 and the 200, and maybe even the 80 and the 30 to make it so that it seems a little more seamless. But for now, I think that's going to be sufficient. If I really wanted to give myself more time between the glitches, I could always send this up so it starts at -600. And then let's make the bottom so it just goes down as low as maybe 400. And then we'll reset it to -600. I'm kind of curious what that does. So now it should be a long time before we notice any glitch. But the glitch does seem a little bit worse when it finally does come. Anyways, I'm not going to worry about fixing that glitch just yet. We're making some pretty good progress. We have a driving game, and I'm pretty darn excited about that. Okay, so let's see here. The other thing that I'd like to do is I'd like some cars to come down from the top of the screen. And there is some pretty straightforward ways to do that, but I want it to make it so that more than one car can come down from the top of the screen. And so rather than having it be just one car at a time, I'm going to try to make it so we can spawn more than one car. Now, I have to admit to you, mostly it's just going to be one car coming down from the top. You know what? Maybe for now, maybe we'll just make it one car at a time so the code is super simple. Let's go ahead and make the enemy car that's coming down from the top, and we will make that a lot like we made our own player. So I'm just going to copy this player line, and I'm going to go ahead and paste it here, and we'll just change the name of it from player to car. And we'll make it so that it always starts at the top of the screen. So let's see. Oh, wait a second. Sorry. Yeah, rectangle. So there's the left side. There's the top. Let's make the top of the rectangle for the car that's coming down. Let's make that 0, I believe. And we'll make the car blue in color. The enemy car. I'm going to go ahead and hit run and see what that looks like. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now, the other thing that we'd like to do is we'd like to make it so that car is coming down towards us. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to say, let me go ahead and take a look and see. I think we're going to do something like car dot center y plus equals 5. So it's going at the same speed as the road. And I think that should be pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and hit run, and then I'm going to get myself out of the way. Now, the other thing that I'd like to do is I'd like to make it so that after it gets off the bottom of the screen, it comes back up to the top. So if car.top is greater than 400, then let's go ahead and set the car.bottom back to the top of the screen. So that'll be equal to 0. And let's see how that goes. So I'll go ahead and hit run, get out of the way, and hopefully that guy wraps around. Yay, it does. Okay, great. Now the other thing that I'd like to do is I'd like to make it so that it's random whether or not that enemy vehicle appears on the left or the right, so that I don't always know what it's going to be. So let me see if I can figure out a way to make it so that it's on the left or it's on the right. Give me just a second to think. All right, I think I have a strategy for randomly positioning the car on the right or the left. What we're going to do is when we go to do the wrapping of the car, when the car goes past the bottom and goes back up to the top, we will randomly choose whether the car is on the left or the right side. And the way we'll do that is we will say car.left equals, and we'll set that number to either 130 or 220 randomly. And let's see here. So the way we'll do that is we'll use the randrange function, which is learned in a much later unit, just like the onStep function is. Anyways, and what we'll do is we'll start randrange off at 130. And we will go to some higher number. Again, I think maybe 220 is the highest, but I have to go a bit beyond that for this to work. So I'm just going to go to like 260. And then what we'll do is we'll move, let's see, 220 is about 90 bigger than 130. So we will increase from 130 by 90. So 130 is the starting value. And then we add 90 to it, and it could be 130 or 220, and that's it. It won't be any number that's other than 130 or 220. And then we'll set the car.left, and this will do it randomly each time. Let's go ahead and hit run. And again, watch what happens. So maybe it comes down the same side. Okay, it is, yay. But on occasion, it'll come down on the right side. And it really should be kind of a 50-50 chance that sometimes it'll come down on the right, sometimes it'll come down on the left, and I got to get out of the way when this is happening. So I'm hopeful that you're pretty happy with what we've accomplished so far, because essentially we got a driving game. And the only thing is, it's a little bit boring going at this speed. And so one of the things that we'd like to do is we'd like to be able to have some mechanism for increasing the speed as time goes on. So let's go ahead and think about how we could do that. One of the things that we might do is we might keep track of, well, hold on. Let me think about it and I'll get back. I think we're going to do this by keeping track of time. So I'm going to make a variable called app.time, and initially I'll set it equal to 0. And then what I'm going to do is down here in the onStep function, I'm going to go ahead and say if app.time percent, and we'll talk about this in a second, 300 is equal to 0, then do something. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to increase the speed of the car. And so I'm going to need another variable up here. We're going to call that variable car.speed. Let's see here. Ooh, actually, do I want it to be car.speed or player.speed or road.speed? Probably could be any of those. I'm going to go for now with car.speed. And we're going to set it equal to initially to 5. And what I'm going to do here is slowly by slowly, I'd like to increase the speed of the car. So I'm going to go ahead and say car.speed here plus equals 5. Now, let me talk a little bit about what's happening here. What should be happening is this. Our app.time is initially set to 0. And, we will need to do something else. We will need to increase app.time every time onStep runs. So app.time plus equals 1, let's say. Okay. Now, here's the trick. OnStep repeats itself 30 times a second. And in other words, it repeats itself every 1/30th of a second. Okay. Now, that means that if app.time goes up to 30, it's going to be 1 second that's passed. Okay. So what I'm thinking is I want the speed to increase after so many seconds. What this will do is this will check to see when app.time has passed 3. Let me think about this. Has passed 10 seconds, because let's do it with just 30 so it's more obvious. What this will do is it'll check to see if 1 second has passed, okay? Because what's happening here is this percent, what it does is it returns the remainder after you divide app.time by 30. And if the remainder of app.time divided by 30 equals 0, then we know that app.time is at a multiple of 30. So when app.time gets to 30, 1 second will have passed. When app.time gets to 60, 2 seconds will have passed. When app.time gets to 90, 3 seconds will have passed. And this code right here checks to see when app.time is some multiple of 30. And every multiple of 30 is some number of seconds, okay? So what we want to do is when we get to 1 second, we'll increase the speed by 5. And then 2 seconds, we'll increase the speed by 5 more, and so on and so forth. Now, that would be a little bit crazy. So what we'll do is we'll multiply this number by 10. So we'll make it so that 10 seconds have to pass before we increase the speed. So I'm going to go ahead and hit run, and let's see if this works. So immediately, at first, we've got a pretty low speed. And then after about 10 seconds have passed, the speed should increase. And when it does, we should notice a pretty drastic increase in speed. And has it happened yet? I don't know that it's happened yet. I should have been counting the seconds. I almost feel like something might not be working. Oh, I know it. Something is not working here. The reason why I'm having a problem is because I'm increasing car speed, but I'm not using car speed to make the car move. What I want to do is, let's see here. We're going to, let's see here, car.speed. Right now, the car is moving right here. Car.centerY plus equals 5 is what's moving the car. So here is where we're going to have to use car.speed. There we go. That'll fix it. Now, the other thing I'm going to do to save a little time is the road also needs to move faster when the car speed increases. So here is where I move the road. Road.centerY plus equals 5. So we will also move that based on the current car speed. Now, when we increase the car speed, we should see some results. So let's go for it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and try to stay out of the way. And after about 10 seconds, all of a sudden, we should see that the car speed starts. There you go. You can see it just kicked in. Now, after 10 more seconds, the car speed should increase some more. and then this game is going to become a lot more challenging. Now, I have choices. I don't have to make it so that the car speed increases by 5 each time, and I don't have to wait for 10 seconds, and you don't either. You can change the code to your liking. So anyways, I'm going to get killed pretty soon here. Okay, so now I've got a game where I'm driving a car, and it actually feels a little bit thrilling, but we're about 20 minutes into the video, so I don't know if I want to do much more. But I can give you some spoilers or some previews of things to come. No, these are not spoilers. What this is maybe a cliffhanger. I'll give you a hook, something that I want to get you to come back for more, okay? Obviously, what would make this game more interesting is if we hit the car, we want to know that we hit the car. So that would make the game more interesting. So we need to add that. The other thing is what I'd like to do is give us a limited number of lives. In other words, maybe it's okay if we hit one car. Maybe we should still be able to keep going. But we shouldn't be able to hit too many cars. So we need a number of lives at the beginning, and that number of lives should decrease over time. The other thing is, we'd like to have something to shoot for to compete with our friend who's playing the same game. So maybe we should have a timer to see how long we can prolong our lives in this game based on the number of lives that we get. So we'll add a timer to keep track of how well we do, and we'll add something to keep track of how many lives we have, and we'll add some kind of mechanism to detect whether or not we hit a car, which we do not want to do. Anyways, we'll get to that maybe in the second version of Digital Derby. If you haven't done it already, make sure that you save this as Digital Derby 1. Oh, and in fact, actually, while we're at it, maybe we should go in and save this as Digital Derby 2. And so that way, when we go and start on it next time, we won't ruin all the progress that we've made if we make any mistakes. So let's go ahead and save this. And we'll update the comment at the top here to Digital Derby 2. And now the next time that we go to work on this, the next time that when you go to look at the video for Digital Derby 2, you'll just open up Digital Derby 2, and we'll start right away on that, and you'll have preserved any progress we made in Digital Derby 1. Okay, so that's where we quit for now. Thank you for paying attention. Make sure you call me over and show me the progress that you've made. And then you can go ahead and get started on the next video.